If you're over 30 and feeling like friendships aren't what they used to be, you're not imagining it. The harsh truth is that friendship fundamentally changes after 30, and most people aren't prepared for it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your friendships have shifted, what's normal, and how to navigate this new reality. Let's talk about what nobody tells you about adult friendship. Number 1. Proximity. The thing that created most of your early friendships no longer works the same way after 30. What changes? In school and college, you made friends because you were physically near people daily. Same classes, same dorms, same activities. Proximity created repeated exposure, which created friendship naturally. After 30, you're no longer in environments that force proximity. You work with people but might not connect. Your neighbors are strangers. You're not in structured social environments anymore. The psychology? Friendship formation requires 3 elements: proximity, repeated, unplanned interactions, and settings where you can let your guard down. After 30, all 3 are harder to come by. The research? Studies show that most childhood and college friendships form because of situational proximity, not because you actively chose those specific people. Remove proximity, and maintaining friendship requires intentional effort. The harsh part is that you can live next to someone for years and never become friends. Being in the same space doesn't automatically create connection anymore. You have to actively pursue it. What this means? You can't passively make friends after 30. You have to be intentional, reach out, plan, and make effort. Friendship just doesn't happen anymore. The adjustment? Stop expecting friendships to form naturally like they did before. Start treating friendship like dating. You have to actively pursue and nurture connections. The reality check: if you're waiting for friendships to develop organically, you'll be waiting forever. Adult friendship requires intentional action. Bottom line? Proximity created your early friendships effortlessly. After 30, friendship requires deliberate effort and intention. Number 2. Your friends are living completely different lives now with conflicting priorities that make consistent friendship nearly impossible. The divergence. In your 20s, most friends were at similar life stages. After 30, massive divergence. Some have young kids, some have teenagers, some are child-free. Different career stages, some climbing, some settled, some changing paths. Marriage, divorce, single, remarried, all different relationship statuses. Different financial situations creating different lifestyles, different health situations and family obligations. Why this matters? When life stages diverge, availability, interests, and bandwidth for friendship change dramatically. Your friend with 3 kids under 5 isn't available like they used to be, and it's not personal. The psychology: we bond over shared experiences. When experiences diverge significantly, maintaining connection requires more effort and conscious bridge building. What you'll notice? Friends with kids cancel constantly. They're not flaky, they're overwhelmed. Career-focused friends are unavailable during prime years. Financial differences create uncomfortable dynamics. Different life paths mean different conversation topics. Scheduling anything becomes logistical nightmare. The harsh reality: your friend isn't choosing their kid's soccer game over you to be rude. Their priorities have genuinely shifted, and that's valid. The mistake people make: taking these changes personally. They don't value our friendship anymore. No, they're juggling different life demands. What this requires: massive amounts of empathy, understanding, and flexibility. Meeting people where they are in life, not where you need them to be. The acceptance: you might grow apart from people you were once inseparable from, not because of conflict, but because of incompatible life paths. Bottom line, different priorities don't mean people don't care. They mean life got complicated and friendship has to adapt. Number 3, you will lose friends after 30, sometimes for no dramatic reason, and there's often nothing you can do about it. The friendship fade. Most adult friendships don't end with fights or betrayals. They end with drift, slow, gradual, unintentional distance until you realize you haven't spoken in months or years. Why it happens? Life gets busy, and someone has to initiate, neither does. Small scheduling conflicts compound over time. Conversation becomes surface level, connection weakens. Shared experiences that bonded you are in the past. Geographic distance makes spontaneous hangouts impossible. One person stops putting in effort. The psychology?
Friendship requires maintenance. Without regular contact, shared experiences, and mutual effort, even close friendships naturally decay. It's entropy. Relationships require energy to maintain. The research? Studies show the average friendship lasts about 7 years. After that, without active maintenance, most friendships fade. This accelerates after 30 due to life complexity. The harsh part? Sometimes you'll try to reconnect and realize there's nothing left. The foundation was situational, work, school, and without that context, you don't actually have much in common. What this feels like? Looking at old photos, wondering what happened. Realizing your best friend is now essentially a stranger. Feeling grief over friendships that simply faded. Accepting that some relationships had a natural lifespan. The acceptance required: not all friendships are meant to last forever. Some people are in your life for a season, and that's okay. Trying to force dead friendships creates resentment. The difficult truth: you might be the one that lets friendships go because you don't have bandwidth, and that's okay too. What to do? Grieve the loss, appreciate what the friendship gave you, and release it without bitterness. Bottom line, friendship loss after 30 is normal, mostly mutual, and doesn't mean anyone did anything wrong. Number 4, your friend group will shrink dramatically, and you need to make peace with having fewer, deeper friendships. The numbers? Research shows that after 30, the average person loses about 2 close friends every 7 years. Your social circle naturally contracts. Why this happens? Less time means you can only maintain fewer relationships. You become selective about who deserves your limited energy. Surface-level friendships feel exhausting and unfulfilling. You prioritize depth over breadth. You tolerate less drama and dysfunction. The shift in values? In your 20s, having a large friend group felt important. After 30, you'd rather have 2 or 3 real friends than 20 superficial ones. Quality friendship after 30 looks like you can go months without talking and pick up where you left off. No performance or pretense required. They show up during hard times. Mutual understanding that life is busy. Depth of connection over frequency of contact. The harsh reality: most of the people in your life will become acquaintances or friendly strangers. That's not sad, that's focus. The research? Studies show people can only maintain about 5 close friends and 15 good friends. After 30, those numbers often shrink to 3 close and 10 good due to life demands. What this means? Stop trying to maintain large friend groups. Focus on the relationships that genuinely add value to your life. The loneliness paradox? You might feel lonelier with fewer friends, but quality friendships are more fulfilling than numerous shallow ones. The acceptance? It's okay to have a small circle. It's okay if your squad from your 20s no longer exists. Focus on the people who show up. Bottom line, your friend group will shrink after 30, and that's healthy evolution towards quality over quantity. Number 5, making new friends after 30 is significantly harder than it was before, and it requires strategies most people don't know. Why it's harder? No built-in social structures, school, dorm life, entry-level jobs. People already have established friend groups, less openness to new connections. Busy schedules make consistent interaction difficult, less tolerance for incompatibility, emotional walls, and social anxiety. The psychology? Adult friendship formation is slower. It takes approximately 200 hours of time together to form a close friendship, compared to less time when younger because proximity was consistent. The research? Studies show it takes about 50 hours to move from acquaintance to casual friend, 90 hours to become real friends, and 200+ hours to become close friends. What doesn't work? Assuming people at work will become friends usually doesn't happen. Hoping neighbors will become friends rarely does. Expecting friendships to develop naturally, they won't. Being passive and waiting for invitations. What does work? Joining activities with regular attendance, sports leagues, classes, clubs, being the person who initiates and invites consistently, creating opportunities for repeated exposure, being vulnerable and authentic early, following up and staying consistent. The awkward truth? Making new friends after 30 can feel like dating. You have to put yourself out there, face rejection, and actively pursue connection. The time investment? Building new friendships requires massive time investment during already busy life. Many people simply don't have that bandwidth. The acceptance? You might not make close new friends for years. Most adults maintain old friendships and make only casual new acquaintances. Bottom line, making friends after 30 requires intentional effort, time investment, and willingness to be vulnerable and persistent.
Number 6. Adult friendships require scheduling, planning, and logistical coordination that makes them feel transactional and less spontaneous. The spontaneity death. Remember when you could text, "come over," and friends would show up? That's gone. After 30, every hangout requires checking calendars weeks in advance, coordinating multiple schedules, planning specific times and locations, confirming repeatedly because people forget, rescheduling multiple times. Why this happens? Careers, kids, partners, obligations. Everyone's life is complex. Spontaneity requires availability, and nobody has that anymore. What this feels like. We should hang out, followed by months of failed scheduling, group chats trying to coordinate one dinner for weeks, having to schedule friend time like business meetings, plans being canceled or rescheduled repeatedly, feeling like friendship became a chore. The harsh reality, if you want to see friends, you have to schedule it like an appointment, and even then, cancellations are common. The psychology. When friendship feels like work rather than spontaneous fun, it loses some of its emotional reward. This can make people invest less. What you'll notice: months between seeing close friends, every hangout requires planning, text conversations replacing in-person time, we need to catch up soon becoming a permanent state, friendship feeling obligatory rather than natural. The acceptance required. Adult friendship is more scheduled and less spontaneous. That doesn't mean it's less meaningful, it's just different. What works? Having standing appointments, same day, time, monthly, reduces planning fatigue. Creating traditions, annual trip, monthly dinner, maintains consistency. The effort equation. Scheduled friendship requires more front-end effort, but can create consistency. Waiting for spontaneous moments means rarely seeing people. Bottom line, adult friendship requires treating it like an appointment on your calendar and accepting that spontaneity is mostly gone. Harsh truth number 7. Even with friends and family, loneliness after 30 is extremely common, and most people hide it well. The hidden epidemic. Studies show loneliness peaks in your 30s, despite this being years when people often have partners, kids, and established careers. You can be surrounded by people and still feel deeply lonely. Why this happens? Surface-level connections don't satisfy deeper needs. Busy lives mean less meaningful interaction. You outgrow old friends but haven't replaced them. Vulnerability becomes harder with age. Pride prevents admitting loneliness. Everyone assumes everyone else is fine. The psychology. Loneliness isn't about being alone, it's about lack of meaningful connection. You can be married with kids and still feel profoundly lonely if you lack deep connection. What this looks like: surrounded by people but feeling unseen, having lots of contacts but no one to call in crisis, smiling through social events while feeling empty inside, scrolling social media, seeing everyone else seemingly happy, going through the motions but lacking genuine connection. The research. Over 60% of adults report feeling lonely regularly. After 30, social isolation increases due to life demands reducing social time. The harsh truth. Most of your friends probably feel lonely too, but nobody talks about it because admitting loneliness feels like admitting failure. Why people don't reach out. Pride, I should be able to handle this. Shame, everyone else seems to have their life together. Fear, I'll burden people or they'll think I'm needy. Assumption, everyone else is too busy anyway. The compounding effect. When everyone hides loneliness, nobody realizes how universal it is. You think you're uniquely struggling when actually most people feel this way. What helps? Being vulnerable and admitting when you're lonely, reaching out even when it feels awkward, scheduling regular connection time, building depth, not breadth in relationships, accepting that loneliness is normal, not failure. The reality: if you're feeling lonely after 30, you're in massive company. The difference is whether you do something about it or suffer silently. Bottom line, loneliness after 30 is extremely common, usually hidden, and requires vulnerable acknowledgement to address. Number 8. If you want friendships to survive after 30, you have to be willing to consistently be the person who reaches out and accept that it might feel one-sided. The initiation burden. After 30, most friendships die because both people are waiting for the other to reach out. Neither does, and the friendship fades. Why this happens? Everyone is busy, overwhelmed, and waiting for others to initiate. Everyone thinks if they wanted to hang out, they'd reach out. Result? Nobody reaches out. The harsh math. If you stop initiating to see who reaches out, you might discover that many friendships simply end. That's painful, but revealing. The psychology. People overestimate how much others think about them. Your friends aren't avoiding you, they're just not thinking about reaching out because they're consumed by their own lives. What being the initiator looks like. You send the first text consistently, you suggest plans and follow through, you check in on people regularly, you make the effort even when it feels unbalanced. You keep showing up. The difficult part. It can feel one-sided. You're always the one planning, texting, organizing. It can feel like people don't care as much. The reframe. Most people are terrible at initiating due to overwhelm, not lack of care. If they show up when invited and engage when you reach out, they value the friendship. When to stop initiating. When they consistently cancel or don't show up, when they never reciprocate or engage, the friendship feels draining. You're doing it out of obligation, not genuine desire. The acceptance. Being the initiator doesn't mean they care less. It means you're better at maintaining connection. Some people are maintainers, some are participants. What helps? Having a few friends who also initiate so the burden isn't always on you. Reciprocal effort matters, but initiation styles differ. Bottom line, if you want friendships to survive after 30, be willing to consistently reach out without keeping score. Here's the perspective shift that changes everything. Adult friendship isn't worse than young friendship, it's different, and requires different expectations and strategies. What actually matters after 30? Quality of connection over frequency of contact, depth over breadth of friend group, accepting where people are in life without judgment, being intentional about maintaining relationships, letting go of friendships that no longer serve anyone, building new connections despite difficulty, showing up during important moments, accepting that life is complicated for everyone. The acceptance. Your 20s friendship model doesn't work after 30. Stop trying to recreate it. Build friendships that fit the life you have now. What healthy adult friendship looks like. Months between conversations but no awkwardness, understanding when people are unavailable, quality over quantity of time together, mutual effort even if it's scheduled, depth of conversation despite infrequent contact, acceptance of life stage differences, no scorekeeping or resentment, celebration of small moments of connection. The mindset shift. Stop expecting friendships to feel like they did before. Start appreciating the friendships you do have. Release relationships that have run their course. Invest in the people who show up. Be the friend you want to have. What this requires: lowering some expectations while raising others. Lower expectations for frequency and spontaneity. Raise expectations for quality and authenticity. The truth. Adult friendship after 30 is harder, sparser, more scheduled, and requires more effort. But the friendships that survive are often deeper and more meaningful. Bottom line, adjust your expectations, increase your effort, and appreciate the friendships that remain. So, there you have it, the harsh truths about friendship after 30 that nobody warns you about. From the death of proximity-based friendship to the rise of loneliness to becoming the eternal initiator, adult friendship is fundamentally different. But here's what matters. Understanding these truths helps you adapt rather than feel like you're failing. Adult friendship after 30 isn't worse, it's just different. And when you adjust your expectations and strategies, you can build meaningful connections that fit the life you're actually living. Which harsh truth resonated most with you? Drop it in the comments. And if this video made you feel less alone in the struggle of adult friendship, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe to Behind the Mind for more real talk about psychology, life transitions, and navigating adulthood. Remember, you're not failing at friendship. Friendship just got harder, and that's okay. Keep showing up, be intentional, and appreciate the connections you have. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.